everybody, and welcome back to the I Don't Know Running podcast, where we share our experiences that make running fun and sometimes not so fun. I'm Lewis, and I'm a self-admitted lazy ultra runner.
I like how you pause between each part. And I am Mitch, and I am cold.
Oh, yeah?
Getting ready to go up north and
taking your snowmobile suit?
To my favorite race that I'm not running this year. And it's hot and cold. Like that race is like, it can be either really hot weather or it can be a little chilly. And that looks like it's going to be a little chilly.
Yeah, I don't think the high is in the 60s for the next 10 days.
Yeah.
And that's here. That's not even up there.
I know.
I was up there last weekend for some golf, and I think the high, well, Friday was nice. Friday was great. The Saturday, the high, I think it was like 52, and it was rainy, junky, crappy, windy. And then Sunday, the high was like 48. We were golfing. Mm-hmm. So that was not a pleasant time.
I got the trailer out of storage, and I've been working on it the last few days, just getting it ready to go. And
no issues?
Not that I found so far.
Nice. That's a bonus.
I haven't tried the heat, though, yet, so that could be a surprise. I do have a portable heater, though.
Okay.
So
yeah. Going up for Bayshore. We should clarify.
Yeah, I'm going up for Bayshore. Tammy and Lily are doing the 10K, and that's
awesome.
That's the extent of it. And
you're not walking the 5K?
No.
You could.
I could. I walked 2 miles the other day around.
You should walk the 5K.
They don't have a 5K. They have a 10K. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not quite there yet.
Yeah, that might be just a little bit.
And it's sold out. Everything's sold out.
Oh, that's true.
So
that's true. Well, bummer. Well, let's dive into a couple of things on today's episode. First and foremost, let's talk about our Cocodona 250 episode. We got some fan mail through. Number one, okay, so 2 things. We got fan mail. Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't think it's got a name. It's just it gives a location. And this person was out of California.
Yeah, and this is different because through the podcast platform, it comes in a different way. Like it comes in and you get an email and you get notified. It's just different.
We cannot respond to it. And so it was really awesome to see, but we can't do anything with it other than talk about it, which is what we're doing.
Because we always, when somebody sends us a message or comments or does anything, we always try to respond. So this is the only way that we can respond.
Even if we don't have a ton to say about it, we respond.
Yep.
So here's a message out of California on our Cocodona 250. It says, "Hi guys, Courtney has done at least 2 200+ mile races and done really well on one. You're going to follow it up with some stats. Well, I'm both, but I'm saying she won one. Probably not lack of experience that caused her to drop out of Cocodona. I got the impression, in parentheses, that's what you were suggesting, ? Thanks for the fun podcast. Oh, it's Jen out of San Francisco Bay. She signed it. So that's where the name is.
Got to read further.
Thanks, Jen, for sending that. And we did read that. And I instantly, I texted you and I said, jokingly, Jen, please take this lightheartedly. I said, hey, we found a bigger fan of Courtney than Mitch.
It's not true. It's not possible.
True.
It's not possible.
Yeah. But number one, let's just say this. We didn't mean to give the impression that she didn't have experience. We know she has a ton of experience. I will say, though, everybody learns from every race.
Even Courtney.
Courtney, Killian, Jim, name the best run. What's the elite marathoner right now? Kipchoge. The dude still learns every single race.
Yeah, and that's the whole premise of what we're about, that you always learn. You know, like I get friends that do really bad, and I say, well, what'd you learn?
Yeah.
And they get mad at me.
Yeah.
And It's like,
So-
it's true.
So yeah, we didn't mean to give the impression that she didn't have any experience or that like, oh, total lack of experience made her drop. It was more that exactly that. What did she take away from it to then propel her forward?
You gave me the opportunity to talk about she is absolutely my favorite runner.
Why don't you give us some stats?
Hands down. And I knew that she had run at least one, and we just didn't talk about it. So I knew that she won the Moab 240 hands down.
Yep.
So overall place, yeah, Courtney. Women's place first place, Courtney.
Yeah.
So
race first and women's first.
Yeah. Finish time.
What year was that?
2017.
17.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of up and coming race at that time too. And Moab is part of like the Triple Crown that's out west.
So the 200s.
Yeah. So Moab, Tahoe, and Bigfoot. And she's actually attempted all of them. Tahoe too. So her finish time was 57:55. So she was under 60 hours for that, which is freaking hauling. She was ahead of the second place finisher by 10 hours.
Oh my gosh.
No joke. So
10 hours.
She is a badass.
She could have got a solid 8 hours of sleep and still won by more than 2 hours.
I know. Well, she got to sleep after.
Wow.
So Tahoe 200 in 2018, she followed it up. Okay, overall place, she was second. But
gosh, fail.
Stop. Careful. That's my hero there. She was first place woman. Finish time 49:54. She broke the previous women's course record by 18 hours.
Oh my gosh.
By over 18 hours.
That was Tahoe?
That was Tahoe. And then she went on and she attempted Bigfoot 200.
Which that's a tougher one, isn't it?
Yeah, she didn't finish that one.
Okay.
So, I mean, again.
Probably from inexperience.
We've switched places. No.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, but I do want to know what she learned. I'd love to have her on and ask about that stuff because I know that she is also the most humble runner. Like we were watching footage of her at Cocodona. I watched the one that, the name of it. Run steep, get high. Yeah. So, and he talks about it.
Jamil.
Yeah. And he's out talking to her. And then while he's like her talking to him, she is so approachable, so easygoing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's laughing. Are you having fun? Oh yeah, I'm having fun. And yeah, so she's 2 for 2 over 200. She's
2 and 2.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
2 and 2.
Yeah. 2 and 2. Yeah.
2 and 2. Yeah. So she has done very well at 2 of those, and 2 of them she has dropped at.
Yeah, and I'll just say, like, again, just to our comments, and I'm not trying to like defend us or anything like that. I just, we just want to engage in this comment.
Oh yeah, we'd like to keep talking about it.
Yeah, is just that certainly Courtney is she's just about as experienced as they come. So we're not saying she doesn't have any experience, but I guarantee she learned something to put into place for the next 200, 100, whatever, that she can use. Because at that level, they have to analyze everything and apply it to the next one. And it may be something as simple as like, I don't know, like I went into it mentally wrong, or I went into it with everything was right, but my body just shut down.
Yeah, she was.
And take it away, and you take that away and go, all right, well, there's nothing I could do better. It was right.
I think she was leading the whole race when she dropped. If not, it wasn't long after if somebody passed her at that point, but she was leading.
Yeah.
So
anyway, yeah, thank you, Jen, for the comment. And hopefully that clarifies that. And I don't think she actually thought that. That's why she put the question mark. Like,
right.
I got that impression.
No, she was very decent in the email.
Yeah, it was good. So thank you. But that does speak to what we're going to talk about today a little bit. We are going to find joy beyond the finish line. How do you find joy beyond the finish line? And the how this comes up or what makes us think about this and the title is it's not, well, number one, and we have talked about this. I actually looked this stat up today in preparation for this. None of these races could exist without the back 90%.
Oh, yeah.
I literally Google searched, could Boston exist without the average runner? And straight up the answer was no. So I did some quick math. Of the 31,000 participants at $250 a piece to get in is a cool $7.5 million that they bring in order for the elites to do what they do. And they have sponsorships. I get all that.
Right. I was going to say, a lot of times, a typical race, the entry fee does not pay for the race. Typical race, it's sponsors.
Typical. We're not talking typical with Boston, though.
True story.
$7.5 million is a lot.
And when we talk about how do the sponsors get the money to pay for that race, it's average people. It's you seeing the elite wearing super shoes and thinking, I got to have me a pair of those super shoes. That's what pays for that. It's us. It's the people that are at the back, not all, but the back of the pack.
Yeah.
The average runners. The people that are just hoping to qualify for Boston, the people that barely make it, that's what pays for that race. It is not the elites.
Yep. So we want to talk about that today on the podcast. How do you find joy beyond that finish line? Like, not that many people are going to win the race. They're just not. I mean, not that many people are going to win their age group. They're just not. It's what, 10 quote unquote winners in a
well, you think about that.
Whatever, roughly.
Per age group, there's typically 3.
Well, but I'm saying winners.
Winners? Yeah.
I'm not talking top 3. I'm talking the winners.
Usually it's top 10.
But I'm just saying there's only a winner in each division. You're 25 to 30, there's one winner of that. The race, there's one winner of, for each sex.
Yep.
But anyway, there's not that many winners. So you have to race for something else, essentially. And that is, you got to find some other joy outside of a win, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that and some of the things that can help you. And because a lot of people do strive, even if it's not for a win, they're striving for a time. They're striving to beat their buddy. They're striving to beat something. And a lot of times, especially as we age, we got to start to, realize something else.
I didn't fall off that bad.
Yeah, right.
I'm slower, but hey,
Yeah. So we're just going to cover a few things talking about that. The first one being the joy of just participation. There's a lot to that, right?
For sure. Going to a place that you've never, the participation, when we talk about that, is it just a race? I lean towards that. I love to be at a race. I love lining up with people. I love standing in the start line and talking to people that are getting ready to run, people that and people give me a hard time. Like, I don't like crowds. I hate crowds. But I don't
like people. Oh, wait, not people.
That too. But I get in the starting line and it's everybody that's like-minded. Everybody's there thinks like I do in a way. Kinda, maybe. But we can talk about that. Like, we're all there for a reason.
It's similar goals, yeah.
Similar goals.
The race distance being the goal. With all varying...
Yeah, some people are like, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to, this is my A race. I'm going to give it everything I have. All the way down to someone that's like, hey,
Sweeper.
I just want to finish.
Yeah. So I'm going to do this. I want everybody who's listening, I thought this was pretty cool. I was reading through some of the stuff that Mitch put together for this, and I just went, man, in reading through this, if you're not driving, walking, doing anything, if you're sitting, I want you to just close your eyes and listen to this, because it literally reading this gave me those feels. So if you're listening and not in a moving vehicle or driving a moving vehicle or walking or running, don't close your eyes. Just get in your headspace and listen to this. Think about the pre-race jitters shared with fellow participants. The collective intake of breath at the starting gun. Literally that, and feel that collective 3, 2, 1, and it's just silence and it's just waiting, right? You're feeling that, right? The shared surge forward. If you're an experienced runner, you know that feeling, that energy behind it, right? Consider the high fives and the nods of encouragement and that you exchange either in that or getting going. All of these things, the cheers of the crowd, as you're in that and you're waiting and everybody takes off and there's this energy, you feel that energy, right? That is something. That is the joy of participation. That is just a start. That's just the start, right? But that is a feeling. That is a sense that you can fall back on and feel, no matter what the outcome was, my worst race, my best race, that feeling, that sense, that energy in the starting corral, like you said, like-minded people around you, that is the joy of participation.
And that, we've talked about this before, that carries you through like the first 5 miles sometimes.
Big time.
And get you in trouble.
In trouble, yes. Gets you in trouble.
Let's go. I'm ready to go.
I got a sub 3 in me. I've only trained for 4, but...
Wrong.
Yeah. It is energy.
And it's wild. Like, as you're walking through that, I'm thinking about the little things where the starts and stops. If you're back a little ways.
Yeah.
And then you're like kicking people in the heels.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And you're kind of antsy. Like you're standing there and it makes me think of all of that.
A thoroughbred, for horse racing, like they're in the starting corral. They're a little, obviously smaller, but just the energy, all that.
And I think about all those things, like you got that one person that's lined up where they shouldn't have, and you're trying, and then there's like 5 friends, and you're like, how am I going to get around these people? And then you got people that are running, along. I think about this road, and there's like curbs on the side, and you get people that jump up in the curbs and run in the grass to try to get around people because they used the bathroom last minute.
Right.
And they didn't line up where they
should have actually been ahead.
They should have been ahead, but they waited till the last minute to use the bathroom, and they're still, I love that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are all feelings that are part of that joy of participation. And as we continue through the race, you have all these same types of feelings that if you've ran a few races, you've probably felt these. There is a sense of accomplishment, once you do cross the line, things like that. But seeing people on the course, you hit little groups of people, spectating, cheering, don't know them from anybody else, but they're cheering you on.
The little kids holding a sign with their hand up. Like if you are one of those people that don't slap a little kid's hand, I don't know, can't be friends.
Yeah. Yeah. And so in saying that, maybe you need to take a reset and I'm not saying like, we're just trying to help people find that same type of energy, same type of feels that will help you still enjoy running, but just in a different way. It's not about your PR or winning your age group or winning the race. And some ways you can do that, just join in a local 5K. You can still get those same senses and same feels and still enjoy the race without that big monkey on your back of having to do amazing that day.
5Ks give me a lot of stress.
I know they do.
Because if you're not on the verge of puking the whole way, you haven't really done your job.
Haven't really tried. Yeah,
I hate 5Ks. I guess you could run it for fun.
Well, that's just it. You have to reset. Think about how to approach it differently. You can still get all those same feels. Take that pressure off and just have fun.
Right.
It's just fun. Personal achievement. Next thing. Crossing any finish line or even completing a challenge or a challenging training run is a testament to your dedication and resilience.
So is it just crossing the finish line? Is that your goal, or are you trying to run better than you did last time. Maybe it's just that I feel good for the whole race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like maybe I start off, I actually follow through and actually get that negative split. Like I actually take off easy enough that I feel good enough to take off and actually walk the talk.
That's a good point, because I would be curious to know of all of our listeners, how many people have truly ran a negative split, call it a race. I don't even care, because even for if somebody's listening and they've just ran 5Ks or 10Ks, that is still a discipline. That is still a discipline of negative splitting. Now I get it. Every race is different. And let's say we started with a 5K. If it's the first mile is downhill, second mile is uphill, and then third mile is flat. Well, I get it, but you can look at effort. Effort on Strava gives you what you would have ran on a flat. Are you running true negative splits? Because that's a really good point. Maybe you need to approach the next race just for having fun and go, you know what? I'm going to negative split this entire race, because I don't think a lot of people do that.
Out of everything I've run, I've only done that, I was going to say maybe 3 times, 4 times tops.
Out of over 100. That's just marathons.
Well, I was thinking I've had a couple 25Ks that I've done that.
Yeah, negative split.
Yeah, and even with the riverbank course where the hills were at the end, I was able to hit those hills hard.
Nice.
And man, that felt good to finish that way.
It always feels better passing people than being passed.
That is the best. Like when you start, and I was thinking that when I did that 100K.
Oh yeah,
remember
we were picking people off.
That last lap, we were
crushing people.
We were, and I don't know that I wouldn't call it that we negative split that.
No,
but we had something left.
Yeah. Well, you were strong. You were really strong at that time, and I think because of the nature of that race starting at 4 p.m., you go into the night hours. You're going to slow down at night. Yeah. You just are. And so when we came out of that, you were ready to go.
I was. Yeah, that was one of my best ultras. I mean,
ultras are different. I don't know.
You can't negative split it.
Yeah, it's just not. I suppose you could.
But it felt good passing people.
Oh, yeah, especially that late and that long of a race. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the personal achievement of just crossing the finish line, look at it that way. Recognize some areas like Mitch said, of areas where you could use that finish line or the journey to it, I should say, as a means of a training run, and just have fun with it. Start off super easy. If you're doing a half marathon, do the first 7-8 miles really, really easy. Zone 2 the entire way, and then start picking it up and just have fun. Enjoy the energy you have for the second half of the race, because not a lot of people do that. We've talked about this before. The party is in the back.
Yeah.
Often overlooked in the focus of the focus is on the front runners, is the vibrant energy of the back of the pack. Here, the atmosphere is often lighter, filled with laughter, fun costumes, and genuine encouragement. That is true.
When I first became a marathon maniac and started seeing other maniacs out there, if you've run enough races, you've seen the shirts, you've seen people. And I've always noticed there was one guy that was he was known for. And he had a whole group of people around him, and they would, like if you did the out and backs, they were having a lot of fun. They were never in a hurry.
Yeah, it's true. That whole genuine encouragement that they're talking about. I'm not going to say that there's not genuine encouragement anywhere else. But a lot of it is, I'm saying this because I should, at the front, the front half, let's say, and I want to be careful with wording here. I'm not saying that anybody's a better runner or anything like that, but there is a sense of the back half, really working to encourage each other to just accomplish it, just to get across the finish line, because they truly are that is the accomplishment. It's not a 4-hour marathon or a 4:15 or a 3:45 where they feel they're going to make it, right?
They're running the cutoff in some cases.
They're literally running the cutoff, and those people truly do need all the encouragement, and they're giving and getting that encouragement.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. A lot of those people in the back are some of the most encouraging people for others.
Yeah.
And they're the ones competing. They're the ones trying to get to the finish line. So, and there is that party atmosphere. I remember the year that Brian and I did the Midwest Slam Ultras, and we were pacing Kalamazoo, and we paced like the, 5.5 hour group or something like that. 5-hour group, 5 or 5.5 hours. Holy smokes. It was, well, number one, that's tough. Like being out there that long for a marathon is hard. So if you're doing that, that's an accomplishment. That's hard. But man, it was a party the entire time. And Brian and I could party. We had a ton of fun. It was just like, yeah, there's the Oberon state station. Let's have a couple. And then there was, at that time, there was another.
That was Kalamazoo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they had a bacon station too.
Yeah, bacon station around the halfway mark. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So we definitely enjoyed that. There was another one. There was another aid station that did, what do you call the orange juice drink?
Oh, mimosas.
Mimosas.
Yeah, it was there too.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that.
They had a mimosa one, which I didn't have because I could never remember what that was. So I was like, it's still a marathon. I still got to get to the end. So, but anyway, it is. There was a banana running with us, a guy in a big banana suit running with us. We kept like going back and forth with him. But yeah, it is truly a party, man. Like there are people that run with their music on, which, that could go both ways. Some people don't get a little annoyed by that, but it is a party. Have fun with it. Things like that. And it doesn't have to be a marathon. It could be the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, like whatever, the 25K. Dress up in a costume and just have fun with it. Next one, run for fun. And this gets away from the race a little bit because, again, this is in general about running. And sometimes you have to break away from the race and just enjoy moving. Like I mentioned last week, I went out for a run. I just wanted to run, and it felt good. I almost didn't even take my watch. I was just like, just go out and get a run in.
That's craziness.
I've actually thought about doing that, just going away from all electronic. Well, I want to listen to something.
We have talked to people that have ditched the watch. I mean, that's its whole thing.
Yeah, it's a vice.
Just not worry about it. And that's it. Is that watch can get you in trouble as well.
Yep.
Because it's like when I was trying to actually follow a training plan and do the actual easy run, trying to get like to this super crazy slow pace.
Which is based mostly on time, probably?
It was based on, when I was doing the power, based on power.
Stride?
On stride. And I couldn't go slow enough. I could not, and then I was getting sick of looking at my watch. And I almost needed to just walk based on what it was telling me. I couldn't go slow enough. So to ditch the watch, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it does. The watch usually does nothing more for me than speed me up.
Mm-hmm.
I like my run. I went out and I was like, well, I'm still on a negative split. I want a negative split everything. Man, I bet you I can't. I mean, the majority of my runs are negative splits. That's how I run. Next one, running with friends. Makes sense. Get out there. Just enjoy running with friends. And again, this is something you can ditch the watch on. Just go for a run. Who cares?
Think about that. How many times have you paced a friend in a race?
Just a few.
Yeah, and it was
amazing
because it takes away the pressure. It's typically you're going to run with somebody that you're trying to help them get to a faster pace. So it's something that you can do.
It does,
to take the pressure off you.
Takes pressure. Well, it takes the pressure off from my run, but it does add pressure to the encouragement, like helping side of things. Because I was actually recently thinking of Sean.
Yeah.
Like you were easy because you were super strong. I didn't have to do much with you other than just be there, talk to you. You know,
there was one time that it was in the dark. And we come up on the road and it was flat and we're walking. We were just walking through the trail coming up onto it. And it was uphill or whatever. And we got on a flat and I was finishing my point. And you're like, we could probably run. Like, oh yeah.
It's funny because I remember you were so strong. I actually questioned like, dang, you're going to run me into the ground. You were just really strong at that time. But I did recently think of Sean when I paced her at Fifth Third. And I thought,
you're trying to pace her under 2.
Under 2. And it was the first year I paced her. I think I've paced her twice there. The second year she did not do. The second time I paced her, she didn't. I think it was the second time she did not do well at all. But the first time she was close, and I kind of kicked myself because there were times I wish I would have been harder and said, no, you just need to suck it up and get moving. She did eventually get it, which I'm super thankful for. Probably 5 years later or something like that. Not by my help, but I do feel like, because I think she was within 30 seconds.
Because one of those times, I think I was under 2 at that time. But I think I passed you right around the zoo, and you were trying to get her moving. And you're trying to get her moving.
I don't know what time that was.
It was kind of one of these numbers, like,
yeah. She both times. One time I stayed with her. We came in at like 2 hours. I think it was like 2 hours and 30 seconds. It was so close. And then another time she totally bonked, and she's like, "Lewis, you just got to go."
Which happens,
but because she just wasn't having a good day. Which talk about conserving your energy and just having fun. I flew the last 5 miles. It was fun. But anyway, running with friends, that kind of a thing. Consider the shared struggles and triumphs of a challenging run with a friend. All the inside jokes, which there are boatloads of. You start to get so many inside jokes with this friend and with this friend and with this friend and with this friend. And those are fun. Us like sunbathing is harder than a 20-mile run or whatever it was we did.
It is. Ask Nicole.
And yeah, training for a race together, that's always fun. Like what you guys did for the pistol and then didn't get to run it.
Yep.
That's fun.
That was, I think everybody that was part of that feels the same way. That was one of the best training periods for all of us.
Yeah.
And then to not do the race.
Could have done virtual.
Another story.
All the mental health benefits, beyond the physical gains and all of that nonsense and the finish lines and all of that. Running offers, and I'm just going to read this verbatim, running offers significant benefits for mental well-being. It can be a powerful tool for stress reduction, mood improvement, and clearing the mind. The time spent running can be a form of moving meditation, allowing you to process thoughts and emotions in a healthy way. Recently, I know for me, well, and for you feel this too.
I feel it now. I feel it, the lack of it.
My highs and lows are really high and really low. And when I'm exercising regularly, those come way in. The exercise just helps balance all of that. My emotions don't get the better of me as much when I'm regularly exercising.
Yeah, I feel the lack of exercise right now with that, for sure.
Yeah. Get out there and do that. Taking the pressure off. Of course, we've kind of touched on this a little bit. Get out there, just enjoy the run. Like, don't worry about a time. Have fun with it. Think about the weight that just lifts. Go out there, just take it easy. Zone 2 for, quarter of the race. Zone 3 for the next half or 3/4. And then whatever, just have fun the last quarter. Takes a ton of the pressure off. And ultimately, you're chances of enjoying the race and not like being disappointed with something exponentially increase because you don't have that pressure. Consider the relief going out for a run without checking your pace constantly. The freedom of choosing a route based on just how you feel rather than the strict training plan.
That is.
Those kinds of things, which I've talked about a little bit like recently. Well, not recently, probably 6-8 months ago, maybe more than that, a year ago, when my headset died and I got to listen. I get to hear stuff. And that was totally just route based.
That's what I do like about running trails though. I think that is.
Yeah,
because you're forced to go slower. It's just different. It's just so different.
You experience. Experiencing nature is a lot easier on the trail,
for sure.
Whether that's birds chirping or rustling in the leaves, it's whatever, some raccoon or something or deer or Upper Mac. I see deer up there a ton, and it's peaceful. It's nice. Now you get up by the highway in one section and it's like, oh yeah, there's the highway, but
that's noisy.
Yeah. That leads us into our final one, the journey, not the destination. And I used to have what were those? Road ID. I used to have a road ID that said, it said something like that. It's about the journey, not the destination, or something like that. It was, because I wanted to remember in all the races that I did, you just pay attention and be present in what you're doing.
Back when I used to not run as many races, and I can remember that all the fun, it seems like, because we had a running group, and then getting together every Saturday morning, we would take turns watching each other's kids, and there was just so much in logistics just to get out and do that when the kids were young. And then you'd do a race. So you'd all this build up and all this work. And you'd get done with that race and there'd just be this sense of like, oh, now what? Because we journeyed together. We did all of this stuff. And now, that's probably why I started doing multiples. It's like, well, just keep going.
Yeah. Remembering the journey while getting to the destination, is starts in the beginning, in the training phase. Like it does, there's a sense that you can use this as the race, like remember the journey of the race. But to your point, the journey starts in the training phases.
Yeah, we had that group from work where we trained a couple people, or at least one of the guys, it was his first marathon, and we trained together. We got together all the time. And there's many good stories about training and the silly stuff that happened at that time as there is in the race. The race was, the whole thing was fun. Yeah.
This talks about the training runs, the conversations with fellow runners, the exploration of new routes. How often have you ever went out and said, hey, let's take this road?
Yeah.
Not very often, because you're always like, this is our 6-mile route, or, this is our 8-mile route. Whereas maybe, and this is a good thing to think about. All right, let's take this route. And then you were trying for 8 and you only ended up with 7. You need to be okay with that.
Ooh, usually.
Usually it's longer. But I'm just saying there's times where you might be like, oh, we got back around here, especially with trails.
Yeah.
You don't always know where you're going.
Well, with that group too, we would go to, back in the day when I ran in a running group, plus with the friends from work, we would take turns to somebody's house. We'd have to run their route. So you didn't know where you were. You had to depend on them.
Yeah.
So you have to let go a little bit.
Yeah. And people have to let go of like, oh, I want to get my run in this amount of time. Well, no, you have people with you. Stay with them so you don't drop them and leave them lost.
Right.
So, because that happens too. Get out of yourself. Remember the journey along the way, training runs, during the race, whatever. Have fun and just enjoy that journey, the process. But anyway, those are a few things hopefully that can help you just get away from the pressure of the finish line time or the time of a run or whatever it might be, and just enjoy running on its most basic level.
Right.
If you like what you heard, hit subscribe, like, share, do all of that. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. Leave comments. Send us comments. We got to do this on the front end.
Right.
Send us a comment.
We like to talk.
Maybe I'll chop this out and put it at the front.
Just insert it very awkwardly.
Yeah. What? That sounded weird. It's like they were finishing and now we're just at the beginning. But anyway, do that. Like, subscribe, share, all of that. But with that, that's going to wrap up this episode of the I Don't Know Running podcast. Be sure to tune in next time as we share more about what we just don't know.
Until then, happy running.